What's up everyone, welcome back to the Agenda Now channel. Today I'm breaking down one of the wildest congressional showdowns I've seen in a long time. Seriously, this government shutdown fight just turned nuclear on the House floor, tempers flared, accusations flew, and nobody held back. So, let's get into what just happened, why it matters, and exactly what each side is throwing at the other. First up, Representative Mike Lawler from New York took the spotlight, and man, he did not hold his punches. He straight up accused Democrats of being responsible for the entire shutdown, saying they've kept the country closed just to score political points. According to him, this was all about gaining leverage. Forget the real people getting hurt. But he didn't stop there. Lawler slammed Democrats for pushing what he called extreme demands like free healthcare for undocumented immigrants. He called it out as a tactic to fire up their base, even if it came at the cost of shutting the government down. Before I go any deeper into the chaos, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a breakdown like this. Now, back to the action, because things only got hotter. Lawler took aim at Obamacare, claiming premiums have nearly doubled since it passed. He pointed straight at Democratic leadership, accusing them of refusing to extend premium tax credits for even a year. According to him, that proved healthcare wasn't really their concern. He said the shutdown was all about appeasing what he called the far-left base. Then, Lawler dropped a bombshell. He quoted top Democrats, accusing them of bragging the shutdown was helping them politically. In his words, they saw it as leverage, no matter how many Americans suffered. He listed what he said Democrats were holding hostage food stamps for 42 million Americans, WIC benefits, paychecks for troops and federal workers, even air traffic controllers. He wrapped it with a dramatic plea, vote yes and reopen the government, right after the presiding officer had to step in, reminding everyone to keep things civil, address comments to the chair, and chill out on the personal attacks. You could feel the tension in the room just building. But that wasn't the end. A representative from Massachusetts fired right back, calling Lawler's speech as extreme as his voting record. He said the bill being debated would actually betray more than 7,000 people in Lawler's own district, folks who rely on the Affordable Care Act just to pay for basic health care. He made it clear he wasn't buying any of the blame game that had just been thrown around. So there you have it, a high-stakes, no-holds-barred showdown. One side claims Democrats weaponized the shutdown for political gain. The other says Republicans are coming for life-saving health care and bending the truth. It's a perfect snapshot of just how divided Congress is, and how real the consequences are for millions of Americans in the crossfire. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed for the next deep dive. Thanks for watching.
New York.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 1 minute.
The reason we know this is a Democratic shutdown is because of how angry they are that we're about to reopen the government. Period. That's all you need to know. In 2023, Jerry Nadler said shutdown is really an extremist policy designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country hostage. That is exactly what the Democrats have done over the last 43 days. They have held the American people hostage, trying to extract insane things like free health care for illegal immigrants. If they were serious about tackling the health care affordability crisis in this country, then they would address the fundamental problem with Obamacare. Since Obamacare took effect, health care premiums have risen by 96%, and on the open market by 114%. When I asked Leader Jeffries to sign on to the 1-year extension of the premium tax credit, he refused. He stuttered, he stammered, he couldn't answer a single question. Because this shutdown was never about health care, it was always about appeasing a far-left radical base. Chuck Schumer said, every day gets better for us. Catherine Clark said, of course people will suffer. We want to use this as leverage. It is an embarrassment to this country. You should all be ashamed of yourselves for inflicting this pain on the American people, taking away food stamps from 42 million Americans, defunding WIC, not paying our troops, our federal employees, our air traffic controllers. It's a disgrace, and you should all hang your heads in shame. Vote yes to pass the bill and reopen the government.
All right. Let me remind my colleagues. I fully recognize that there's a lot of pent-up anxiety and emotions have been elevated somewhat, but please, in the interest of the decorum of this House, to direct your comments to the chair and do not engage in personalities toward the Senate, toward the President, and others. Gentleman from Massachusetts with 14 and 1/2 minutes remaining.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Speaker, let me just say the gentleman from New York sounds as extreme as his voting record. And I'd like to say to the gentleman who just spoke, by supporting this bill, he's betraying 7,000 constituents in his district who rely on the ACA to afford their health care. Boy, I'm glad he's not my representative. At this time, I'd like to yield